This is Brenda Martin, your breakthrough baby boomer. And today I'm excited about interviewing Dr. Gerry. And he's from Sydney, Australia, or in that area, right? But the reason I'm so excited to share this with you is wellness is the biggest part of our lives, isn't it? And he's a leading wellness and longevity specialist. He's also one of only 11 certified by the Chiropractic Wellness Lifestyle Practitioners in Australia, awarded by the International Chiropractic Association. And this has been over the last 36 years. But Dr. Gerry, tell us briefly about your journey.
Okay, well, thanks, Brenda, for inviting me. Look, basically, I'm 61 years of age, and I have a particular interest in, in baby boomers for longevity of lifestyle. We know factually that we're all living longer, well into the 80s, but the big question mark is what's the quality of life? And so, how did I get into this whole thing? Well, I basically got into, yoga as a teenager. And back in the 70s, went over to India 3 times and studied with some of the leading, Indian sages and teachers over there and learnt Sanskrit, chanting and yoga. And then went over to Washington State, San Juan Islands, and did polarity energy balancing back in 1979, 36 years ago. And that was just a whole holistic healing. And that's really sparked off my whole interest. And then when I was 28, as a mature age student, started my chiropractic training. And then in 1983, which is 33 years ago, gained my yoga teacher diploma. So really for the last 27 years, I've been working with chiropractic and yoga very, very extensively, and then did that postgraduate wellness training. And that's really my background.
That's great. That's great. Thank you very much for that. That helps us to really understand you, Dr. Gerry. And when it comes to baby boomers, could you top line the 3 things that's the most important for us?
Yeah, look, basically, I think, I'm from a medical background, so I see literally on a daily basis, patients coming in who are in their, late 60s and 70s, being told by their medical, practitioner, by their MD, by their doctor that, expect that at your age, expect that. And it's really just not the case. It's, medical fact, every 12 months, your whole body gets regenerated. There are liver cells, bone cells, heart cells get completely regenerated every week, so many weeks and months. So it's really not to buy into, that would be my first one, is not to buy into the whole, status quo, the attitude out there that, there's a whole level of degeneration that naturally happens as you get older. And so the second one, is a big one for me. It's my practice mission statement is empowering you to take charge of your health. So when we're looking at my specialty is health, musculoskeletal medicine. So when we're looking at that health field, as a baby boomer, it's very, very easy. Our whole culture is around giving your power away, going along to your MD, going along to a physical therapist, and having a dependency. And so my whole practice is around SMS, self-management strategies. So there's an incredible amount of things you can do yourself to literally feel young and turn back the clock. I mean, there's that, I get patients on a daily basis that I've literally, this is factual, literally turned back the clock on these people. I've got a lovely gentleman who's just turned 70, and he came in with a sore hip, and he really, his whole mental disposition was of an old man. And we've got him into an exercise class twice a week, and we've got him into weekly chiropractic, which is, yoga-based and breathing and movement. And he's now moving around sprightly, and it'd be lovely to get share one of his video testimonials on what I call him Barry. Down in Australia, we call Barry Bazzers. So I call him Bazza. And he's sprightly, and he'd be the first to tell you that his whole life is improved in terms of everything, his mental disposition, his ability to get up and down, his ability to interact with his grandkids. So that's the second one, is that there's a real concept of from my point of view, chiropractic, of prematurely aging unnecessarily. And it's about moving, really, really moving well. And then the third one is sustainability of lifestyle. Now, again, I'm talking from a medical background, and there are a terrific number of patients that I see that have seen physical therapists or even chiropractors that are given exercises to do. And they do them to get out of pain. And when they're out of pain, they stop. And that's a problem because they slip back. And I always use the analogy of a dentist. And no one is going to deny or say no to a dentist if they say, look, Brenda, we've x-rayed your teeth. We're starting to see some decay. You need to brush your teeth daily for the rest of your life, or you'll end up with advanced tooth decay. Now, no one's going to say of course. But when a chiropractor or physical therapist said, look, Brenda, you need to daily do these exercises, so, some core strength, some, hydrotherapy daily for the rest of your life, people say, what? And they're out of pain and they stop. So it's a matter of focusing. The other big one, the third big one, is part of that sustainability, is focusing on what you can do, not what you can't do. That to me is, mission critical in my practice. Because if my mission statement truly is empowering you to take charge of your health, then it's a matter of focusing on what you can do, not what you can't do. And most people will come in their late 60s and 70s with a whole list of what they can't do. And then I break that down within seconds and say, can you walk? And if they can't even walk, I suggest they go into a hot pool and do hydrotherapy, because heat is wonderful for arthritic joints and just, moving. In Australia, we have the Arthritis Foundation, and their motto that every Australian knows is move it or lose it.
Oh, really?
That's, I say that because every Aussie knows that. We call each other Aussies down here. You're Yankees, we're Aussies. And so I say to any of my patients, move it or, and I literally go silent, and 100% of them will say or lose it. And so that's, with the whole arthritic degenerative condition, move it or lose it. So it's the idea of every day. Look, the medical, the global medical model on this is 30 minutes of moderate exercise five times a week. And moderate exercise is raising your heart rate. So even if you can do that, that's brilliant. That's only 150 minutes a week. If you can't do that, even just a few minutes a day, keeping mobile. And that's where I think yoga or Pilates, Tai Chi, even if you can't go out, go get a video, watch it at home. What I do highly recommend for baby boomers, retirees, is to join their local, I don't know whether you have them, but in Australia, most cities, towns, will have senior citizens clubs. And we call them senior sits for short. And they all have yoga, Tai Chi, really? For like $3 or $4. So $8 a year to join. And you've got all these different activities, walking and, macrame, stitching, sewing, like 20 different things happening for next to nothing. And the big thing is, as you get older, is the social interaction. It's very easy to just recline back into your home. And that's all part of the unnecessary, what I call premature aging. So if you can get into these senior citizens clubs, or, there's now social media meetup groups. There must be, baby boomer meetup groups. Mm-hmm. And the social interaction, and do your little Tai Chi or yoga, which you can do yoga even on a chair. You can be 90 and have a hip replacement and do some wonderful yoga with breathing, holding onto a chair. I actually teach that with my own patients. Yoga, it's called chair yoga.
That's great.
So the whole idea of sustainability, and keep moving, keep breathing till your last moves. Till you keep moving. That's going to keep your body moving, because the reality, what people don't realize, not enough people don't realize from my chiropractic point of view, is your body is what you interact with life with. Lifting your kids up, grandkids, social activities, recreational activities, everything. And there's a terrific number in Australia of premature aging baby boomers. And they come in in remarkably restricted movement. Some of them are on walkers. If I'd seen them 10 years earlier, I know medically, factually, that if I'd seen them 10 years earlier in their 60s, they wouldn't have walkers in their 70s. Yeah. And there's this whole tendency of becoming a couch potato and dropping your exercise activity levels. And I have this, fun analogy of, flying. And it's actually quite moving, quite emotional for me. Because I'm 61 and I still stand up, paddleboard, rock climb, bushwalk, Latin dance. I'm still very active. And I see these people only a few years older than me, maybe 66. And they've got one foot in their grave. They come hobbling in. And I say, look, you're like a pilot on a plane and you're nosediving right now. And what we have to do is pull back the joystick and pull you out of this nosedive. Because, I wouldn't want to see you in another 10, in their mid-70s. Another 10 years, they're going to be really on a scooter, motorized scooter. And they're, what a quality of life is that? And from my point of view, a lot of it is unnecessary. I will straight away send them out for x-rays, CT scans, MRIs, whatever I need to do, working with their MD, to work out whether they have a fully blown, musculoskeletal medical condition. A lot of them don't. And if they don't, then I know it's through complete lack of mobility and breathing and moving that's they're literally on that nosedive. And it's tragic for me to see as, someone who's a chiropractor, gone through university 5-6 years and have been practicing 27 years, to see these beautiful instruments called human bodies and people trundling into my office in such decrepit, premature aging states unnecessarily. It's quite moving because I know those people should absolutely not be there. And how does that happen? Simply by sustainability of having a sustainable, lifestyle of eating and breathing and moving well every day of your life, even if it's just a few minutes.
I think we can all really understand that. We've got parents too that are in their 80s. I know I'm here with my mom and helping them. Yeah, I mean, it's encouraging to me. I'm going to work on mom today too to keep her moving. And so you're right on, Dr. Gerry. I really appreciate it.
That's a very good question because, people ask me, well, is there an age limit on this? And from my yoga background, I simply say, as long as you're breathing, you can, because if you're breathing, the reality is your diaphragm is moving. That's a muscle. And your ribs are moving and the ribs are connected up into your thoracic spine at the back. So as long as you're breathing, there is some movement happening. It's, because like respiratory arrest, you're dead. We have box jellyfish stingers in the tropics. If you get stung with those within minutes, you're dead. Why? Because respiratory arrest, if you stop breathing, you're dead. So as long as you're breathing, you're alive. And then again, it's a matter of, like I said before, with your mum, focusing on what she can do, not what she can't do. And if she can walk, or just do a little bit of arm movement and do a bit more deeper breathing. Breathing oxygenates you, instantly gives you more energy. There's always something you can do, always.
Yeah, always. Yeah, I really appreciate it and very much. And now we want to make sure that everyone knows how to reach you. I'm going to post your website, right? And also Gerry's on Facebook too. And so I'll help you make those connections. Anything you want to add as far as people connecting with you, Gerry?
No, look, I'd love to hear from people. As you said, Brenda, there's Facebook, there's emails, there's the website. So in any way I can be of assistance. And, my motto is live lively, live longer. So, and I purposely put the live lively first before the live longer. Because, I've got a grandmother who's just passed away. She was 106. Now, people think, my God, 106, is that fantastic? But for the last few years, all she kept saying is, Gerry, darling, I just want to leave. I just want to I just want to die. Because she was in, her quality of life was so bad. So, you're better off going to not in your 90s, living lively than like my grandmother, you know, hitting almost 110, but she's bedridden in an old people's home. What's the point of that?
Yeah.
So it's all about living lively, living longer, and it's not difficult. It's not difficult. It's just a matter of just, you know, as we said, just sustainably moving and breathing and exercising, and that in itself is just miraculous.
That's great, and that's what I love even about your website. It's really encouraging, and I want to encourage everyone to check your website out and keep the encouragement going. And Ken, I promise that I can bring you back on with more tips, Dr. Gerry.
Yeah, well, look,
okay.
Absolutely. I mean, what'd be fascinating, this is ad lib, we haven't talked about this, but if the listeners want to ask specific questions.
Perfect.
And then the next series can be, rather than me just being open-ended, if we can get really, you know, I'm here to serve the public. So if they got really specific, even individual questions, can be medical questions. You know, we can have a whole series on, you know, Q&A.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah. I have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So, okay, we'll be talking to you then. And thank you very much, Dr. Gerry.
Excellent. Thanks for inviting me, Brenda. Yeah.